One of the many things that I love to invest in when it comes to video games is downloading mods. Mod support by a passionate and dedicated community allows opportunities for changes that can be seen as a good thing, such as quality of life improvements by tweaking bugs/issues, adding new features that change the gameplay completely, creates replayability for a new playthrough, re-implementing previously unused items that were not included in the final release but are savored with restoration, and so on. The opportunities that come along with mods are endless, and the same can be applied to Silent Hill. In recent years, Silent Hill has seen a slowly developing prominent modding community that shares its unique and creative takes when it comes to including modding support. Whether they are cosmetic changes that add a new outfit to a character's attire, overhauling the presentation with a shader that gives a lot of lighting and vibrant colors, which gives a new atmosphere to a pre-existing one, or adding a change in perspective with new camera angles that revamp the gameplay with a completely new experience that you can only dream of. There are lots of options nowadays when it comes to the modding scene in Silent Hill, and today I want to take the time to look at many of the mods from the various games in the franchise, which I personally favor and I think deserve much more attention to be seen by the community. One of the most highly appreciated details that come to mind when it comes to any Silent Hill game is without a doubt the atmosphere. You can find yourself in a foggy, desolate town that lies in ruin and without any life, leaving an ominous impression that there is something more going on behind the scenes. If you take a moment to wait and indulge in your surrounding, it can become a haunting one with the lonely feeling you feel, but simultaneously becoming one that is sad and filled with sorrow. Other times, you can go from a dreamlike atmosphere while roaming the town and then suddenly find yourself in a nightmare with an other world that is covered in rust, blood, and monsters that exists in a different reality that should be conceived from a bad dream. It's a subtle change that gives the player no preconceived notion or indication of this shift, which makes it much more effective. The point of highlighting the atmosphere in these games is because of how powerful and dynamic it truly can make a player feel emotionally. Powerful enough to where I want to explore much more of this atmosphere because of how dreamy and haunting it truly can be. Well, luckily for us, we have the opportunity to do so. The Silent Hill level viewer, developed by Gyromancy, allows the player to explore to their heart's content in each level found in Silent Hill 1 with a free roaming camera. This allows you to explore the streets of Silent Hill, the building interiors, and even out-of-bound areas that were unused. This is possible as Gyromancy extracted the original models and exported them to the Unity engine, allowing for a much more in-depth look into areas that caught our attention previously in the original but weren't possible due to limitations. However, that is now realized with the level viewer mod. It's such a cathartic feeling to explore every nook and cranny of every level without having to worry about the monsters living around you or inventory management. To make sure you're safe and secured of resources to keep moving forward, you can free roam passively without issue and allow your curiosity to get the best of you. Fun fact, the level viewer has also been an important and useful tool when I capture footage for any of my Silent Hill 1 videos, as it offers a more cinematic experience that wouldn't be possible in the original, thanks to the mod itself. I highly recommend that anyone who is a fan of Silent Hill 1 to check this mod out if they are curious about exploring the town of Silent Hill, the Otherworld, or every level in general and exploring what it has to offer. The difference in a camera perspective can change how the atmosphere of a surrounding can be perceived. Silent Hill 1 uses a dynamic fixed camera angle that is used very strategically in many instances when crafting its scenes, such as the iconic opening where Harry Mason is in the nightmare sequence in the alley. More often than not, it can be behind the player at all times and follow you when exploring the streets of Silent Hill to show how expansive the foggy environment is. However, when it comes to a tight linear setting, it can be used against the player and be an impediment when it comes to your progress. Having to accommodate this lack of foresight in your general location with monsters lurking towards you around every corner without any indication can be easily unsettling and terrifying, given the situation. With how well structured the camera angle is, it can create a scene of horror and other times create a scene that is calm and ambient. As iconic as this camera system is, I often always wondered what Silent Hill would be like in the first-person perspective, as I imagine the horror would only be alleviated to a whole new level, creating an entirely different experience. As of recently, YouTube user Mr. Katrina is currently in the development of recreating Silent Hill 1 from the ground up with an entirely new gameplay system that is focused on capturing Silent Hill in VR, featuring fully functional compatibility with a VR headset and controllers. The gameplay we see in Silent Hill is now adapted to the VR, emulating the Silent Hill experience but through a new lens. It's truly captivating to see how far into development Mr. Katrina has gone when it comes to reinventing a whole new source code that functions with VR compatibility. Not only that, but had to repurpose the original assets and make them functional for this mod, such as emulating Harry Mason's hands, a working handgun, an entirely new combat system, as well as implementing seamless transitions from each room in the game without any loadings. To say that there are lots of ambitions and expectations for what has been laid out so far with only just small teasers of gameplay footage is an understatement, to say the least. There is no definitive release date set just yet, but the progress of ongoing development of the mod can be seen on Mr. Katrina's YouTube channel, which I will put a link in the description for you to check out if you're interested. Needless to say, I'm very excited to try out this VR mod, as I feel like this fits right into that Silent Hill experience but offers a different change in gameplay and atmosphere, which I'm sure we will appreciate when the time comes and we can finally experience it for ourselves. There's a massive amount of work and dedication that it takes for a development team to fully create a seamless and functional experience of a beloved title on older console hardware, to then polish and fine-tune any issues, bugs, or glitches that can prove to leave a sour taste on the experience on modern platforms, for not only old fans but also new fans to re-experience a classic title that should be nothing but playable. Not only did it take a collaborative effort with a group of programmers, modders, and artists who are fans of Silent Hill 2 to come together to make such a port for Silent Hill 2 for PC, but go about this process for free to create what is known as Silent Hill 2 Enhanced Edition. Silent Hill 2 Enhanced Edition is deemed as the definitive edition of a remastered port of the original Silent Hill 2 that provides enhancements such as bug fixes or glitches, quality of life improvements to the controls, gameplay, and audio, and restoration to frame rate, FMV videos, images, and much more, offering a plethora of optimization to controller, keypad, and mouse support to PC players. The amount of quality in this unofficial remaster for Silent Hill 2 is nothing short but phenomenal and respectable, as this was done by fans for fans, knowing that there was much more opportunity to fix and improve on a pre-existing port and make it to near perfection. I highly advise anyone who wants to experience the original Silent Hill 2 for the first time to play the Enhanced Edition, as it's the best in terms of experiencing a classic on a modern platform that is convenient, but it also preserves the essence of quality of the original faithfully. Similar to the Enhanced Edition of Silent Hill 2, Silent Hill 3 also has a mod that enhances the PC version of tweaks and fixes to make a previously unplayable game playable. This mod is an obligation if you want to experience Silent Hill 3 on PC, as running it off just the application alone will make you run into errors, making it unplayable. This mod includes widescreen support, improved flashlight lighting, 60 FPS gameplay, the ability to save at any time during gameplay, restored audio and unused beta sounds, and much more. This also restores little details and perks such as the Silent Hill 2 Easter eggs and all of Heather's 14 outfits that were originally only achievable on the PlayStation 2 version. Furthermore, other mods such as the Audio Enhancement Pack offer uncompressed PS2 audio that is corrected in its music and sound effects, and controller support with an Xbox 360 controller that is compatible as an option if that is more so your preference. A fun little inclusion that the modding community has made over the years is outfit mods for Heather. Such outfits you can install are Heather's movie outfit from Silent Hill Revelation, Heather with her dark natural hair, Cheryl Mason from Silent Hill Shattered Memories, or Memory of Alessa. While this isn't necessarily a mod for the PC version, this is still a mod for the PC SX2 emulator of Silent Hill 3. The shader mod adds lighting to make the environment feel much more vibrant in a bleak and dark atmosphere. While minor, it shows a stark contrast in its detail when compared to the original quality with use of shaders, showing how much of a couple of changes can change the vibe of the gameplay completely. One of my favorite types of mods is undoubtedly randomizer mods. On paper, a randomizer mod randomizes an assortment of items, weapons, and enemy placements that you'd find in gameplay to mix it up in every playthrough, offering the player incentive to try out new scenarios and challenges that weren't possible in the original game. Much of the time, this can make the player start with a weak weapon that offers not much durability nor damage output, and shortly afterward, spawn the hardest enemies seen in the later half of the story, to cause absolute hell and mayhem for you. While this is understandably frustrating and difficult due to its challenging nature, it allows for lots of strategy and planning on the player's part to devise new and unique ways to combat these challenges to progress. I actually played this randomizer mod last year with my stream, and we all had an amazingly fun time with the pure chaos that was derived from the mod itself that was brutal, emotional, and rememberable. I would love to see randomizer mods of other Silent Hill games like Silent Hill 2 and Silent Hill 3, but unfortunately, it seems you have to wait and see if that day comes to fruition. Until then, if you ever want a reason to replay Silent Hill 4 to give yourself a challenge and enjoyable chaotic time, then try out the Silent Hill 4 randomizer mod. Eileen? Oh my god!
Little boy, what are you doing here?
Oh, that's so cursed. Oh no.
Finally, the third revelation.
Oh no, it's, oh, that's so cursed.
Nosy guy that was here. He said it too. Something big's gonna happen.
Oh, that's so cursed.
Finally, it's gonna happen.
Oh, that's gonna haunt a lot of people's nightmares today. Tonight. Oh, that's so cursed. As I previously mentioned, the use of camera angles and how that can change the gameplay's experience of a simple change in perspective can truly revitalize and give birth to an entirely new experience, offering not only replayability to replay once again, but refill that nostalgia that we felt long ago as if we are re-experiencing that game for the first time once again. Fortunately for us, Zealot Tormunds has made a first-person and third-person over-the-shoulder camera mod for Silent Hill 2, Silent Hill 3, and Silent Hill 4. In the menu of the mod itself, the player is given lots of options to optimize their preferences when it comes to either choosing a first-person or third-person camera, which also adapts to your controller scheme to suit the perspective you are playing in. To say that both first-person and third-person feel so seamless and smooth in this style is mind-blowing. While the fixed dynamic camera angles in the earlier Silent Hill games are iconic and are important when setting up the gameplay and using them to its advantage when providing subtle visual cues to the player, or even working against you, the mod makes the game much more immersive when either in the first-person or third-person camera angle. To go back to these games with a first-person camera angle and become immersed in this perspective whilst you see the events play out, such as the monsters you have to combat, the subtle shift to the other world, and just taking a moment to rest and have yourself listen to the ambience is really something else. Then to have the third person over the shoulder camera angle emulate that modern survival horror gameplay that we've all become accustomed to by now, but just in these older titles, is uncanny, but surprisingly normal and works. What Zealot Tormunds brought for us is something truly remarkable that offers new and creative ways to re-experience those beloved classic titles in an all-new experience in itself, that goes to show how a simple change of a camera angle can recreate something new. One of the biggest missed opportunities was to implement classic outfits as either an optional outfit or as an incentive to have the player unlock outfits for either James or Maria. Something that was actually teased at the player in the story when James and Maria are together but only used as a visual gag and reference. However, I do wish we could have seen Maria in her classic outfit as an option, or restore James with his military patches, which were notably missing. Well, luckily for us, both of these outfits respectively have been restored with mods. It looks complete to see remake Maria in her classic outfit as it complements her sexual and promiscuous personality and character, which was one of the integral aspects of the original. While the patches are a very minor addition, it still feels like a neat detail that is part of James's character. Speaking of outfits, one thing that I find really cool is the classic PlayStation 2 character models of the characters implemented in the remake, such as James Sunderland or Angela Orozco. It would have been a neat and funny unlockable, either DLC or in-game, to see these character models roam the town of Silent Hill for the sake of nostalgia. Speaking of remakes, it's widely known that Silent Hill 2 Remake sold phenomenally well, with well over 2 million units sold worldwide, which would warrant more remakes later down the line. While we wait in anticipation of which Silent Hill would get the remake treatment next, we do get to see a little teaser of what a potential Silent Hill 3 remake could be. This Heather Mason mod is unique as it uses a newly put together model of a Heather Mason with the remake treatment. It looks very well done, and kudos to the modder for using their ideas and creativity to adapt a hypothetical remake version of Heather. One thing I've always wanted to do in each Silent Hill game is have the ability to explore the town of Silent Hill without the fog. The fog makes great use as a backdrop and as a mechanic in the gameplay, obscuring the player's vision and misdirecting them to impede their progress. But I've always longed for the option to explore Silent Hill without the fog itself and see what the once lively town used to look like. With the Sunny Hills mod, we finally had the opportunity to explore the town to our heart's content. It still blows my mind every single time I play Silent Hill 2 Remake with this mod. Without fog and the use of sunlight, which dramatically changes the tone of the atmosphere from a haunting one to a calm and soothing one. It feels like you can explore the everyday town without any fear or danger, and see what life with people used to look like. It makes me wonder if a Silent Hill game could work without the fog itself and instead opt for a daylight setting. Maybe one day, that possibility can become a reality. Those are the mods for today that I found to be incredibly unique and creative that I felt needed to be seen by the community to hopefully introduce something new to those of you who may not have known about such mods, and try it for yourself. There are most likely mods that I didn't cover here that I missed out on, but I'm sure along the way, we will most definitely take a look at more mods being developed by the community to once again, to step back into that foggy little town once more. For those interested, I'll be leaving a link to every single mod shown here today so you can check them out for yourself. Links to these mods will be in the description down below of the video. I hope you enjoy and have fun. Anyways, that's me. Thank you for watching. Please have a great day, stay safe, and goodbye.